because I know how to use my awareness to move in sync with another person. So I don't have to do it through my body to be in sync with them. And so we want to take note, and we want to do more than take note. We want to choose. We want to choose. Again, this is just an opportunity for me. We want to be able to choose and to listen to what does our body want. It doesn't mean we can't be social. It doesn't mean we can't be part of the group. But we really want to say, what do you want, body? And not just do it because the others are doing it. And once we begin to do that, there's a sense of strength that comes from inside. And it helps us to realize that nothing separates us from anybody else except our own chatter. And usually we drink, which is a depressant, to shut off the chatter. But we could use consciousness to shut off the chatter. And once you shut the chatter off, then you can actually pay attention to somebody else and have a profound conversation, laughing and playing or touching into deep things in ways that you never could. And at least you'll remember them. Afterwards, which may build the foundation for relationship, for future, for things that you care about.
Is there a distinction between an inner path and a spiritual path?
Well, by the use of the terms, I would say, in a way, there is. Because when people say spiritual path, it usually has to do with some delineation. You meditate, you do this, you don't do that. So spiritual has a lot of connotations for people. What is spiritual and what is not? And so spiritual path means maybe you don't drink, etc., which is absurd. Because we are all spiritual no matter what we're doing with our bodies or with our time here. We'll never come, no matter how advanced science is, without the spark of the soul. And inner path would mean really exploring inwardly, and sometimes the inner path might allow you more amplitude in terms of emotional themes. But I have to give you the kicker here, which is that my higher self says, forget the path. Because whenever we're thinking about, I'm moving along a path, it's always some kind of a judgment. It's always, I'm not perfect yet, but I'm getting there, or I'm not getting there, or taking 3 steps backward and 2 steps forward, or I have to do this to show show myself that I am on a spiritual path, or I'm moving in a inner path, rather than really using your consciousness to touch in, as we were doing, where is the point of my center, my soul center at this moment, that place that allows us clarity, illumination, enlightenment at any moment. So that it's not the thing out there, even if it's inside here. You know, when I no longer feel frustrated, when I no longer get angry, then I'll have my inner path. No. I've seen many gurus and supposed enlightened beings throw tremendous fits. You know, so it's really not about the this means that kind of conversation. It's really the place where at any moment you can feel that energy of joy, enlightenment, of peace, of those things. And know that, again, you might go out and have a drink. Does that make you not spiritual or erase your inner path? No, it doesn't. It does not. Life has never been that kind of 1, 2, 3. But we do have choices. And the more that we create joy inside us, because we do something that uplifts the emotional body. We choose happiness and not anger, for example, which isn't something you can do in your mind, by the way, in your intellect. But you can do it energetically. And so it's simply the practice of life. Not the practice in terms of, this is my spiritual practice, and therefore I'm on the spiritual path stuff. Because your practice one day might be to rush out into the world, and the next day it might be to sit and connect with the moon. And who's to say which is the most powerful or spiritual? It doesn't work that way. And so I would just simply... to get back to the Brazilian statement, I am that I am. better, no worse, and I find it good. You know? But allowing that flowing of it. Because you are not who you were this morning. You cannot be. You never will return to who you were this morning, ever. But you will pluck from this morning points of reference that take you in multitudinous directions that mirror to you who you are at any moment. Sometimes it creates the angry self, and we say, well, I'm the angry self. Well, that's because your consciousness is focused on cause and effect in terms of the outside and the inside. And so we do have power over emotional currents. And we do have power over the pulling away the veil, the being able to perceive the divine energy in the tree, in the horse, in the sky, in the person, in the job, in the thing that we're doing at any moment. So we want to allow that. And if we get too much traveling down the path, we miss the points of reference that can really, again, open a threshold here and a threshold there. We are multidimensional divine beings. We are not beginners.
Thank you, Chris. Could you talk a little bit more about what you just mentioned, that we have the power, I forgot it already, the power over our emotions, how to use them? You mentioned intellectually that's not possible, but how can we deal with the emotions so that they don't control us?
Yes, it's fabulous. A perfect example is something makes you angry or makes you frustrated. And instead of said, I will not be angry, I will not be frustrated, which of course will just allow you to project it onto everybody else. Well, I'm justified because of those guys. You know? But rather, where am I holding that anger? And go into that place in your body and feel what it's like. And then feed it. That's the power of choice. What color do you need to release that anger? And as we do that, the body, which doesn't want to be squeezed by anger, will simply relax. And as it relaxes, it ripples onward. We have another choice. And so our mind can then focus on something else. And that's the way we do it. Because I think some therapies began this idea. For example, if you're angry, beat your pillow. Well, it'll make you feel good for a while. It truly will, because you're going to move your blood, you're going to get it out. But you will always hold that place of justification. I'm justified in being angry because the world isn't giving me what I want. And see, that happened again. And so you have to cut off the energy itself so that it doesn't move around and just play itself out in the next way and the next way. You have to actually pluck it. And so on one level it could be, okay, where is the anger in me? Instead of, I'm angry because this person didn't do it. Forget them. It's in me, and it's hurting me. So where is it in me? What frequency of light does it need in here to wash it away? And to, as soon as you start putting the color in there, you've already agreed to let go of the anger. That's the beauty of it. And so your body is already going, yes, yes, I don't want this. And that's why it's so powerful and why it works. And then, as that releases, you can choose something else. You can choose something that pleases you, or suddenly you see how this is connected to that. And you recognize that you have a different choice. That you're not caught in somebody else's web. We're only ever caught in our own webs. Ever. And so, by acknowledging an energy and then choosing to dissolve the energy, we are the doers, and that gives us power. So it really, people think, oh, it can't be that simple. It actually is. It actually is. Now sometimes you might want to take that further. Okay, I let that color flow through my body. Now, where am I holding clarity? Or where am I holding a sense of purpose? And letting that come forward. So again, it is attention on the inner self. It is acknowledging the self. And as we do that, we build that awareness awareness that we can wield our lives, that we can choose. And that's what sets us free. We don't have to stay the course if it's poisonous to us. But we always want to see, what is the gift? What can I learn from something?